In 2006, the voters of Charleston County approved a half-cent sales tax. One of the projects, one of the many projects that we promised that we were going to do is this intersection at Camp and Folly. First of all, Folly Road will be widened to make room for new turn lanes. Next, we're going to add dedicated right turn lanes on Folly in both north and southbound off of Camp. There are going to be new bike lanes. We've got a great team working out here with our transportation development folks and our staff. I saw Steve Thigpen earlier. I know he's here. But we're also going to have contractors from STV, Baker, HDR, and of course Banks Construction Company. I saw Reed Banks is here, and we really appreciate all the hard work that Banks Construction is doing for the county. They keep delivering these projects on time and under budget, and we appreciate that. You know, Charleston County is growing at a rapid pace. And these projects are just some of the small things we need to be doing, working with our communities to help make our quality of life that much more special than it already is. I want to thank the town of James Island and the PSD for working with the county on this project. That's what all this is about. It's about coordinating amongst governments, working hard together, not only in the transportation side, but in zoning and in vision for what our community needs to be. I think we're at a good place now, especially in the last year or two between the town and the county and the PSD on how we're going to see our future unfold on this side of the county, and we need to be really proud for that. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to Councilman Quayle to have some remarks.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you all for being here. It was a beautiful prayer, Reverend. I've been saying prayers about this intersection for about 10 years, and they finally come to fruition. So thank you for your help on this. About 5 years ago, when I was running for county council, one of the things I said was, we don't have enough orange barrels on James Island. We don't have enough construction work on James Island. We don't have any traffic relief on James Island. You looked around the rest of the county, and there's plenty of that going on. Well, now we are catching up. We have Harborview, which is great, thanks to Jim Armstrong, Steve Thigpen, and now we're going to have this project, which is going to be awesome. And also, again, thanks to Steve and to Jim Armstrong. This has been a monumental task. Have to acquire numerous right-of-ways, have to bring the parties together, have to get the utilities. It's been amazing. And you have to get the funding. And for the funding, I need to thank Chairman Summy and the rest of the county council who found it appropriate to vote to move some money from elsewhere to make this project happen. So that's a great thing, and all of us are very happy for that. We're going to have improved traffic here, and I can tell my wife that there's also going to be now a turn lane on Eugene Gibbs, so that when she goes to Chick-fil-A, that there'll be better access. And Steve tells me that basically in the next couple of days they're going to fill in that kind of swale pothole so that excuse me, so that people can actually access that now. A couple other people need to get some thanks, and Paul Thurman, Rod Welch, and Leonard Blank worked to lessen the impact on this road with the grand trees. It started out that the plan had 40 trees being taken out, and this plan now has 11. So I want to give Leonard a hand for helping to make that happen, because James Island isn't James Island without the trees that we have, and it's awesome to be able to preserve those. This was a collaborative effort. It is a collaborative effort. I think in the press release I said something about the city, the town, the county. I left out the PSD, Carter, sorry. So thank you now for that. But it's amazing sometimes it takes a lot of diligence, and it takes a lot of hard work, and it takes a lot of come on, let's get behind this thing to make something happen, and that's what's happening here today. So thank you, and we look forward to the actual the actual ribbon cutting when it is concluded. And thank you so much for having us.
Well, I really want to just say, it's about time. But when I became mayor the first time in 2010, this project was in the works. It was supposed to happen soon, and then I began to learn and become involved in how complicated it was, and all the barriers and all the hurdles that had to be passed. The multiple efforts to bid it out that were unsuccessful, but County Council and the staff kept on at it, and I don't know whether I want to apologize for all of our nagging, constantly saying, and exactly when is it going to be bid out again? But I appreciate your patience and in keeping us involved, and working with us on it. I think it's great that the first step is going to be a repaving. The thing I hear most from my residents, their complaints, is the bad shape of the intersection right now, and that it'll be repaved soon in the next week. That's just wonderful. And then a second item for this project that I think is very important is the improved drainage. That from time to time we have that, when it rains really hard, Folly and Camp, the central intersection on James Island, is underwater, and I really believe that these improvements will help fix that. Getting the bike lanes completed, that's great, and also I really am going to appreciate having sidewalks go up to 1,000 feet up and down the road. That'll be an important step in our goal of improving walkability on Folly Road that we hope to complete. And finally, I certainly hope and I trust that the traffic on Folly Road will move more smoothly when this is all done. But anyway, I just want to again thank everyone in County Council, Chairman Summey, and especially Councilman Joe Qualey, who has been pushing this all along, and that's great, and also worked hard to get the funding that we needed, pushed for that funding, and all County Council of course supported it, and the staff again. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor. And to Mayor Woosley's point, I think something needs to really be said though about Joe. He and I were talking earlier about his son who's in college. And he said that, the one thing my son got from me was tenacity. And that's the truth. Joe never let go of the importance of getting this project done. He worked hard behind the scenes with different council members, with the town, with staff. Joe has worked really, really hard for the folks on James Island to make this project happen, and he's owed a debt of gratitude for that. So. It really has, and it goes to show, though, what can happen when our communities communicate with each other. This has been a situation where we haven't been afraid to tell each other where we are on something, where the troubles lie, where the hurdles are, and we help each other figure out a way over those hurdles to make something happen. The other thing I'd leave us with is the citizens of this area they're going to need to be a little patient. This is going to be a long project because the amount of traffic, a lot of it's going to be done at night. People need to be careful when they're driving through this intersection. We're going to have a lot of folks out here from banks and the engineering groups working in this roadway. It's going to be a little bit of a dangerous situation for them. So people be cognizant of that as you're driving through here, to be patient. Don't speed through here. We got people's lives at risk trying to make your life a little bit better when the project's complete. There will be some traffic cameras that are going to be up with this project as well, so folks can not only watch the progression of the project, but also be able to see what's happening live in the intersection when it comes to traffic. So if especially on the Fridays and Saturdays and Sundays when people are trying to head out to Folly to the beach, they'll be able to go online to our website. They'll be able to click on those cameras and see exactly what that traffic situation is at that time, and they can plan their day accordingly. So with that, that's going to end our ceremony, and we're going to move over and have our groundbreaking. 1, 2, 3. The project has begun.
Ready.